So Tony Hinchcliffe had a comedy set at the recent Trump rally in Madison Square Garden. I hope this reaches the Kill Tony fans. I'm a fan too, big fan. I mean, especially if you're a fan, you might have already heard about this already, right? I mean, I'm doing this video like a week and a half already past when it happened. But whether you've seen this or haven't, here's a refresher of the clip that became so controversial.
There's a lot going on. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but there's literally a floating island of garbage in the middle of the ocean right now. Yeah. I think it's called Puerto Rico.
Uh-oh, Aubrey Plaza's not gonna like that one.
As a Puerto Rican woman, I just wanted to very quickly respond to the racist joke that was made at that Trump rally about Puerto Rico, where most of my family is from.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I just gotta say I love the body language from Aubrey Plaza in this. I don't think we've ever seen this side of Aubrey before. You can tell she is mad. I didn't even know she was Puerto Rican. Cool.
Thankfully, my sweet abuelita wasn't here to hear that.
Excuse me?
Disgusting remark.
Homegirl said abuelita. She was so mad she didn't have time to brush up on her Spanish. Abuelita. Okay.
But if she was alive today, I think she would say, Tony Hinchcliffe, go f yourself. And yes, the Wall Street Journal can quote me on that.
Ooh, spicy Aubrey Plaza. I like it. And let's face it, it was a pretty risky joke to make, especially basically right before the election. So naturally, it did erupt a big reaction, not just over Twitter. That's like the norm, right? But you know, the headlines on TV and everything, including big Puerto Rican celebrities such as Mark Anthony, J-Lo, Bad Bunny, and can't forget Living La Vida Loca, Ricky Martin. I'm editing this video and I just found out that Ricky Martin's gay. I thought that was a rumor. Who's next? Tony Hinchcliffe? They all use their platforms to not only defend Puerto Rico, but endorse Kamala Harris. AOC also reacted while live streaming on Twitch and co-hosting with none other than Tim Walz.
Okay, we're getting there. No.
Who is that jackwad? Who is that guy?
Jackwad. Okay, I love boomer insults. I kind of want to install jackwad into my vocabulary. I mean, has anybody actually ever heard anybody use the term jackwad? It's cute. Come on, guys. It's endearing. No?
I actually think that's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing.
I think it's Tony Hinchcliffe. Girl, you know who it is. I mean, otherwise, why would it be super disappointing? But I get it. I get it. It sucks when someone you like does something super disappointing. Yeah.
That's Tony Hinchcliffe, which is super disappointing. I mean, I don't. He's a comedian. I don't follow this
Trump,
like
this
crew
issue
very
with Puerto
closely,
Rico
but...
again.
I don't follow his crew very closely. He's a comedian. I don't know. I think, girl, you know who it is. And I get it. She's disappointed. And it's almost cute how she's like trying to almost save face. Or I don't know, right? She's overly justifying, explaining who he is to Tim Walz. She's like, hey, don't judge me. Yes, I do enjoy him on my free time. There's nothing wrong with enjoying comedy. And hey, you didn't expect it. But I don't know, this reaction from AOC is also, I just find it cute. At the end of the day, she's also a politician, guys. What do you expect? Most people are edgy to some degree, let's face it. Now, Tony Hinchcliffe is not the type to tweet very much, which I think is great. You know, good for him. I always advise people to stay away from Twitter. It's a complete cesspool. It's not what it used to be. It's not even called Twitter anymore. It's called X. You know, I think that was the moment when Elon Musk stripped away any magic that was left from Twitter when he just changed the name, because it's not even called tweeting anymore. It's just called posting. What? There's no more originality to it. Okay, now I'm getting distracted, but my main point is that even though he doesn't tweet very much, there's just no way that he could have missed the opportunity to respond to not just AOC, but also the 2024 Democratic Party vice presidential candidate himself, Tim Walz. So Tony quote tweeted or quote posted the post from Kamala headquarters, which included the clip, and he said, "These people have no sense of humor. Wild that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his busy schedule to analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist. I love Puerto Rico and vacation there. I made fun of everyone. Watch the whole set. I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon." Guys, how was my Tony Hinchcliffe impression? Be honest. Actually, maybe only be honest if you liked it. If you didn't like it, just, you know, be soft. So the time has come for me to give my opinion on the response from the one and only, the best comedy roaster that's currently alive. Okay, this is a title that Joe Rogan has given him. Okay, not me, but I have to give you guys a warning. It's not roses and praises. Okay, I think it's responsible shit. So whether you agree or not, let's get into it. First of all, it is a huge miss to say these people have no sense of humor, because it's not just these people. I mean, if you're saying that these people, as in Kamala Harris headquarters or AOC or Democrats, whatever, right? Tim Walz. That doesn't just mean these people. That would also include the people in the rally, your people, right? So it's a huge miss right there, motherfucker. Additionally, it would also imply that you have a good sense of humor, or you told a good joke in the first place, which is like, I'm sorry, explain that one to me? Oh, I love that I don't have to be political to say this, but Tony Hinchcliffe bombed that set. And he knew it too. I mean, just after saying that joke, he acted surprised and said, all right, we're getting there.
I think it's called Puerto Rico. Okay, all right, okay. We're getting there.
Apparently, he had tested out his Puerto Rico joke at a comedy club a night before in New York City and didn't draw any laughs, just a handful of awkward chuckles. Hinchcliffe told the audience that he would be performing at the Madison Square Garden rally the next day and said multiple times during his routine that he would get a better reaction tomorrow at the rally. Okay, well, I don't know. He was hopeful. So in the next line, he finds it wild that Tim Walz would review the clip in the first place because he should be busier doing other things. Dude, what? You were literally doing this set at the Madison Square Garden Trump rally, like one of the biggest Trump rallies of the year. It's just stupid to insult a politician for reviewing a controversial clip that happened at a rally of the opposite team. Like, dude, this is the world's best roaster. That's what Joe Rogan said. And the best he could come up with was that. That's like if somebody were to insult Trump for commenting on something that Joe Rogan brought up. You know, that happened at Kamala's rally or something. Like, that would be just as stupid. It almost feels a little bit victimizing. Like, oh, wild, he had time to review little old me, right? Dude, you were at the Trump rally, dude. And what do you mean busy schedule? Like, this is what politicians do. I know it's crazy, right? Politicians have public appearances and now they're online. So yeah, they're gonna review controversial things. And sorry, dude, you stepped into shit. All right, let's keep going. Wild that a vice presidential candidate would take time out of his busy schedule to analyze a joke taken out of context to make it seem racist. Taken out of context? Huh? How? I watched the whole set, guys. And just before this joke, Tony made a joke about how free speech is under attack.
Free speech is under attack, people. I host a show, and each week I get updates what words we're allowed to use and not use anymore. It's happening right now the past few years. It's a real thing.
Right. Is that the context? Because how? And also, that joke sucks. How's that a joke? YouTube demonetized my video. Free speech is under attack. That's the joke? That's been something that YouTubers have been whining about for years. And you're calling that a joke? Are you serious? Who you roasting there? Google? Ooh. Then before that joke, you made a joke about how stuff is really crazy.
In Texas, stuff is really, really crazy. We're right there by a wide open border. Where are my proud Latinos at tonight? You guys see what I mean? It's wide open. There's so many of them. It's absolutely incredible.
Which I can admit, hey, that was actually a little funny, you know, got a little chuckle. You made a joke at the expense of the crowd and okay. Unfortunately, a little funny for Tony Hinchcliffe gives him a little too much confidence.
Believe it or not, people, I welcome migrants to the United States of America with open arms. And by open arms, I mean like this.
I mean, just look at that face. He's enjoying himself. He's getting laughter out of telling them Mexicans to go away. And you can tell because he switches right back to his professional best roaster in the world comedy face right after.
It's wild. And these Latinos, they love making babies too. Just know that.
Just know that.
They do. They do. There's no pulling out.
Where's the punchline, by the way?
They don't do that. They come inside, just like they did to our country.
Okay, be honest with me, guys. Was that actually a funny joke? Because I don't think it was funny. I think the only reason that people laughed was because he actually made a comical voice impression and a comical facial gesture. That's my take. Either way, he got laughs, so good for him. And once again, it gave him confidence to compliment the crowd for having such a good sense of humor. You know, they are the ones with the good sense of humor. Is this the context that was clipped out? That you consider to be clipped out, I guess?
Republicans are the party with a good sense of humor.
They have a good sense of humor, except they don't really laugh at all your jokes.
Free speech is under attack, people. I host a...
we're back at the I'm not allowed to say bad words because I want sponsors on YouTube money spiel. Tony definitely expected people to just accept that his joke was taken out of context and nobody was gonna look into it, I guess. Because the context doesn't help you out, bruh. Or maybe the context was what happened right after the joke.
Okay. We're getting there. Again, normally I don't follow the national anthem, everybody. This isn't exactly a perfect comedy setup.
Oh wait, that's just him further acknowledging that his jokes aren't landing. Wait. Okay.
There's some people here. All right, very good.
There's the context he wanted. A few people did like that joke.
I like it.
I love Puerto Rico and vacation there. Yeah, keyword vacation. Not like you'd ever live there. Right, Tony? Right? You never live on a floating piece of garbage. Like, that doesn't help you, bro. It's kind of funny. You can only say it so long. I mean, oftentimes jokes are based on reality, and I don't reckon that Tony Hinchcliffe could stay somewhere longer than a week that he considers to be a floating pile of garbage, right? I mean, at least he would visit it, right? And let's face it, objectively speaking, there is a problem with waste in Puerto Rico. I mean, look at this. This is crazy. The island generates around 1.3 billion pounds of trash each year, right? But here's the thing. If you want to make a joke about that, figure it out. Make a joke about that. Don't just be like, oh yeah, it's all just trash. Like, that's just not funny. Especially when you're not in a comedy club setting. Like, it just doesn't, I mean, I don't have to explain it, obviously. Furthermore, Tony doesn't even elaborate on the joke. He just says, it was funny. You guys don't get humor. Also, I vacation there. I think he'd be better off listing 5 Puerto Rican friends, you know? I feel like saying, I vacation in Puerto Rico is like worse than saying, I have a black friend. No, he just needs to list 5 Puerto Rican friends. Otherwise, it's almost like he just goes to the island and then says, oh, okay, no thank you. I'm done. I'm out of here. He just goes to Puerto Rico, adds to the waste, and dips out. It's been fun. These millionaire comedians, man, I'm telling you. I made fun of everyone. Watch the whole set. Okay, so he's doing the classic South Park defense, which, you know, fair enough. It is true. He did make fun of different people, not just Puerto Ricans. He pointed out a black guy in the crowd and said he carved watermelons with them for Halloween.
It's a cool black guy with a thing on his head. What the hell is that? A lampshade? Look at this guy. Oh my goodness. Wow. I'm just kidding. That's one of my buddies. He had a Halloween party last night. We had fun. We carved watermelons together. It was awesome.
Get it? Instead of carving pumpkins for Halloween, it was watermelons because black people. Oh my God. The world's best roaster. Joe Rogan said it.
You guys are, this is a groany little morning crowd, huh?
And then he complained when the crowd didn't find it funny.
It's tough to follow this audition for the next Commissioner Gordon's over here.
He just made a Batman joke.
It is, though.
I'm a comedian, Tim. Might be time to change your tampon. And what an iconic way to end this tweet. For all the wrong reasons, Tony. Don't get excited. I mean, you know it's bad when you have to say, I'm a comedian. Hey, find me funny, please. I swear I'm funny. But then he recycles the overly used Twitter insults towards Tim Walz of change your tampons. When really, he shouldn't be insulting him just because Tim Walz didn't find him funny. He should just accept the fact that he bombed. He bombed his own set. You know what else makes that iconic though? The whole fact that he hosts a show where he gets to roast up and coming comedians, right? And he can't accept being roasted himself. That's what's so epic about this. The guy makes a living roasting up and coming like beginner comedians, and he can't accept the fact that he bombed. I love it. Now the cherry on top, guys, this is not over, all right? But the best part is that Donald Trump doesn't even know who he is or didn't even see the set.
I was told and made aware that you had no idea about this comedian who made comments.
I have no idea who he is. Somebody said there was a comedian that joked about Puerto Rico or something, and I have no idea who he was. Never saw him, never heard of him, and don't want to hear of him. But somebody said some bad things.
So Donald Trump's campaign just approves of stuff that Donald Trump doesn't approve of. I mean, okay, I guess at least he's saying that he disavows the comedian that made him look bad. I mean, the comedian that said bad things. Unfortunately, the damage is done, and that was the final straw, and Tony Hinchcliffe is officially the reason why Donald Trump has lost the election. All right, I'm sorry. Everybody has to blame Tony Hinchcliffe, right? The host of Kill Tony. Unless, of course, you're watching this in the future, you know, after the election is over and Donald Trump actually won, in which case it was still a terrible set, Tony. Whew. Hey, I covered this whole video without really getting political. Gotta pat myself on the back right there. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please let me know what you guys thought about this whole situation, especially if you're a Tony fan. I enjoyed doing this video, not just because it's the closest I'll get to doing like political adjacent type of content, but I really have been wanting to do videos on comedians, right? Because comedians are really kind of taking over the whole podcast sphere. I don't know if you guys noticed, but they're in my feed all the time. There's always comedians doing podcasts everywhere. So I kind of want to cover more comedians, and this is kind of like my gateway. Now, if you're watching this before the 4th, get out there and vote. Now, before you leave, don't forget to give the video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. And here's the whipped cream to the cherry on top. Joe Rogan warned Tony against performing at political events.
I tell all comedians, don't ever do comedy at something that's not a comedy event. Don't do it. Don't ever do comedy at a place that's doing also. Doing, is it gonna have a bunch of speakers and you're gonna go up and do 10 minutes? Don't ever do that. It's a terrible setup, and it's a political rally, and you're doing jokes like you're in a comedy club. You can't. Don't do it.
Tony is what Tony is,
Yeah.
right? Like, if you want an insult comic, Tony is the best in the world.
That's literally his great specialty is roasting.
Right.
He's the best roaster ever.